The happiest day of my sister's life almost became the biggest mistake of it. And I'm not exaggerating. Because just minutes after she said, "I do," a complete stranger grabbed my arm, looked me dead in the eye, and said something that made my stomach drop. "You need to see this right now, before it's too late." Let me ask you something. What would you do in that moment? Ignore him? Call security? Or listen? Because I chose to listen, and that decision changed everything. My name is Elena Carter. I'm 29, and that day was supposed to be perfect. My little sister, Maya Carter, 26, had just married the love of her life, Daniel Brooks, 31. The venue looked like something out of a movie. White roses everywhere, soft music drifting through the air, guests smiling like they were witnessing something rare and beautiful. And Maya, she was glowing. You know that kind of happiness that feels almost unreal, like nothing in the world could possibly touch it? That was her. Daniel looked the part too. Calm, confident, the kind of man everyone instantly trusts. He held her hand like he'd never let go. But here's the thing. I noticed something no one else seemed to. Little things, easy to ignore. The way Daniel kept checking his phone, the way his smile faded when he thought no one was looking, the way twice during the ceremony he glanced toward the entrance like he was expecting someone who never showed up. At the time, I told myself it was just nerves. Weddings are stressful, right? But standing there now with that stranger gripping my arm, those little moments started replaying in my head like warning signs I had missed. "Are you the bride's sister?" he asked again, quieter this time. I nodded slowly. He didn't waste another second. He pulled out his phone, unlocked it, and turned the screen toward me. What I saw made my chest tighten. It was Daniel. But not here, not today. He was standing somewhere else, next to a woman I had never seen before, and a little girl, holding his hand. I blinked once, twice. My brain refused to catch up. "Who is that?" I whispered. The stranger didn't hesitate. And when he answered, everything I thought I knew about my sister's perfect wedding started to crack. Before we continue with this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for updates. The stranger said it so calmly, like he wasn't dropping a bomb in the middle of my sister's wedding day. I just stared at him. "No," I said automatically. "That's not possible." But even as the words left my mouth, something inside me shifted. Because deep down, I already knew this wasn't a random accusation. "Daniel never told you?" the man asked. I didn't answer. I couldn't. Instead, I looked back through the glass doors of the reception hall. Inside, Maya was laughing, surrounded by friends, glowing in her wedding dress like everything in her life had finally fallen into place. And suddenly, I felt like I was the only person in the world who knew it might all be built on a lie. "Who are you?" I asked, forcing myself to focus. The man exhaled slowly. "My name is Victor Hale, for my sister, and that little girl," he paused, his jaw tightening, "is Daniel's child." My heart started pounding. "Then why are you here?" I asked. "Because he's doing it again," Victor said, "starting a new life, pretending the old one never existed." That hit harder than I expected, because now my mind was racing, connecting dots I didn't even realize were there before. Daniel had always been polished, almost too perfect. He knew exactly what to say, exactly how to act, and Maya, after everything she'd been through, she trusted him completely. She had asked him about his past, I know she had. We'd talked about it late one night, months ago. "He's so open," she had told me. "No secrets." No secrets? So what was this? I turned back to Victor. "I need proof," I said, "not just a photo." He didn't argue. Instead, he unlocked his phone again and started scrolling. Messages, screenshots, dates going back years, conversations between him and Daniel, mentions of money, arguments, apologies, promises that suddenly stopped, and then one message that made my stomach twist. "I'm getting married. I can't be part of your life anymore." I swallowed hard. This wasn't just a secret. This was a pattern. And suddenly, every perfect thing about Daniel felt calculated. "What do you want me to do?" I asked. Victor's eyes locked on mine. "I want you to stop this wedding." The words landed like a punch to the chest. Stop the wedding? Right now? In front of everyone she loved? Do I humiliate Maya, break her heart in the worst possible way? Or do I stay silent and let her marry a man who could one day walk away from her just as easily? Before I could even process it, my phone buzzed. Maya. I answered immediately. "Elena, where are you?" she asked, her voice light, happy. Daniel stepped out for a second. "Have you seen him?"
I froze. She had no idea. Not yet," I said, forcing my voice steady. "I'll check." "Okay," she said. "Hurry back. We're about to start the first dance." The first dance. My heart dropped. I hung up slowly, and that's when I saw him. Through the glass doors, outside, near the parking lot. Daniel, pacing, fast, phone pressed to his ear. But this time, there was no perfect smile, no calm. He looked panicked, like a man running out of time. I didn't think, I didn't hesitate. I pushed the doors open and walked straight toward him, because whatever he was hiding, I was about to drag it into the light. I didn't slow down, I didn't second-guess it. By the time Daniel noticed me, I was already a few steps away, and the look on his face told me everything I needed to know. He froze, mid-step, mid-breath. "Elena?" he said, quickly pulling the phone away from his ear and ending the call. "Hey, everything okay?" "Everything okay?" I almost laughed. Instead, I held up my phone, Victor's photo still on the screen, and stepped closer. "Who is she?" I asked. No small talk, no warning, just the truth. For a split second, Daniel didn't react. And then, everything changed. The color drained from his face. His eyes flickered. Not confusion, not surprise. Recognition. Pure, undeniable recognition. My stomach dropped. "Where did you get that?" he asked quietly. Wrong answer. "Who is she?" I repeated, slower this time. He glanced toward the reception hall, then back at me, lowering his voice. "We need to talk." I shook my head immediately. "No, you need to explain, right now, because my sister is inside celebrating a marriage she doesn't fully understand." His jaw tightened. "She doesn't need to know about that part of my life." That part. The words hit like spark to gasoline. "That part?" I snapped. "You mean your daughter?" Silence. Heavy, suffocating. Daniel closed his eyes for half a second, and that was it. That was the confirmation. Not denial, not confusion, just acceptance that he'd been caught. When he opened his eyes again, his voice was lower. "It's complicated." "Isn't it always?" I took a step closer. "Complicated is forgetting an anniversary. This is a whole life you erased." He ran a hand through his hair, pacing once like he was trying to find the right version of the truth to give me. "I was young," he said. "Things didn't work out. It was messy. I moved on." Moved on. From a child. I felt something inside me harden. "You didn't just move on," I said quietly. "You disappeared. And now you're doing it again, just with better timing." That hit him. I saw it. But instead of apologizing, he leaned closer, his voice almost urgent. "I love Maya. That's what matters now. I'm here. I chose her." Chose her, like the others didn't matter, like they were disposable. And in that moment, one thought cut through everything else. If he could walk away once, he could do it again. Behind me, the reception doors suddenly opened. I turned. Maya stepped outside, her heels clicking softly against the pavement. She was smiling, but it faded the second she saw our faces. Tension, silence, distance. "Elena?" she said slowly. "What's going on?" Her eyes moved from me to Daniel and back again. Confusion turned into concern, then something deeper. Fear. I felt my heart pounding in my chest. This was it. The moment everything would either stay perfect or fall apart completely. I looked at her, my little sister, standing there in her wedding dress, trusting me without even saying it, and I realized something terrifying. Whatever I said next, there was no going back. I looked at Maya, and in that moment, the choice stopped feeling complicated. It became simple. I couldn't protect her happiness by hiding the truth that would destroy it later. So I told her everything. Not all at once, not like a speech. It came out in pieces, careful, heavy, real. The photo, the messages, the child, I said, my voice steady but low. "Maya, Daniel has a daughter, and he never told you." Silence. Not the kind filled with confusion, the kind filled with impact. Maya didn't react right away. She just turned slowly toward Daniel, searching his face like she was giving him one last chance to fix it. "Is that true?" she asked. Her voice was calm but fragile. Daniel opened his mouth, closed it, looked away. That was the answer. And I watched something inside my sister break, quietly but completely. "You have a child?" she whispered. He nodded, barely. The air shifted. Everything, the wedding, the music inside, the laughter, it all felt distant now, like it belonged to a different day. "You let me stand there and promise my life to you without telling me this?" Daniel stepped forward. "I was going to tell you." "When? After what? After we had our own kids? After I found out from someone else?" He didn't answer, because there was no good answer. And that's when Maya did something I didn't expect. She straightened, wiped her tears before they fell, and said clearly, "I can't do this." No yelling, no scene, just a decision. A final one. Within minutes, everything unraveled. Word spread fast, guests whispering, families pulling each other aside, confusion turning into tension. Our parents were stunned. Some people tried to intervene, to calm things down, but it was already over. The wedding didn't continue. Daniel was asked to leave. And this time, he didn't argue. In the weeks that followed, the truth settled in fully. Maya cut all contact, completely, not out of anger, but out of clarity. She needed distance to rebuild her trust in herself, not just in others. As for Daniel, his past didn't stay buried anymore. Both families learned the truth. The story reached places he couldn't control, and the image he had built, the perfect man, collapsed under the weight of what he had done. Victor? He wasn't just some stranger. He was a man who refused to let his niece be erased, and because of him, the truth showed up when it mattered most. Months later, Maya and I sat together. No wedding dress, no decorations, no illusion. Just honesty. "I really thought I knew him," she said quietly. I looked at her. "You knew who he chose to show you." She nodded. Then, after a moment, she reached for my hand. "Thank you for telling me." And that was it. No perfect ending, no fairy tale, but something better. A life she didn't have to rebuild from a deeper betrayal later. Because sometimes the moment that breaks everything is the same moment that saves you.